Welcome back to another Construct video, and in this video we'll be carrying on with our Pokemon game. Actually, my aim this week is to complete this final series, so look out for videos most of this week on completing your Pokemon game. I'm going to start off inside my Pokemon event sheet, so make sure this is open. And the first thing I want to do is actually increase the amount of variables that we've got in this array. So currently we've got the Pokemon's ID, the HP, max HP, attack stats, moves. We want to add in a couple more. I'm going to start off by adding in a temp value, which is going to be the level of the Pokemon. So our Pokemon is going to have its own level. We're also going to add in an 11th value, which is going to be current XP. So how much XP have we earned from battle? And let's just change that to be like that. And then 12 is going to be the max XP, or the XP that we need to level up with. Once we've got that, we need to do a couple of things. We're going to start by going to the array itself and increasing the width from 10 to 13, as we have 13 variables, 1 to 12 plus our 0 element as well. We're then going to take element 9 and we're going to copy and paste it 3 times. We're just going to change these values. So value 10 will be our level. I'm going to start off at level 5. Value 11 is going to be how much XP we've got. Let's say that we're going to have 20. So leave that as 0 and then 20. And then finally this one, value number 12, is going to be how much we need to level up. And let's say that we need 30 XP in order to level up. So we're setting up our Pokemon ready to level up and to evolve as well later down the line. Everything that we need today is going to be in our battle events. So we're going to start off by actually setting how much XP we've currently got. Now to do this, we need to go down to our battle XP. And we've got this variable that we set up. This is actually on this event sheet here. We're going to take the size of it, the width of it, 184. This is really important as we need this property to understand how big or small this needs to be based on our current XP. So I'm actually going to start by adding an action, clicking on our XP, and we're going to set the width. Now the width is going to be our 184. We need to divide it by our max XP. So to get this, we do my Pokemon dot at. We're going to take the 12th value, which is the current max XP, and we're going to use current Pokemon to get the current Pokemon we've got at the moment to get their stats. So when we look at adding more Pokemon, that value of current Pokemon will change, which will mean our code still works. And then once we've done that to get a segment, we can then times that by our current XP. So this would be my Pokemon dot at 0 and then, or 11, sorry, and then current Pokemon. And that will get the current Pokemon stats, and we can hit done. So that sets our XP for us. The thing that we've got is we actually haven't got a level for us. We've got a level for our opponent, but not for us. So what we're going to do is set that up now. So the easiest thing to do is look in your sidebar to find the computers level, and we're just going to clone that. We're then going to replace the computers level with our own level. So I'm going to just change that to say player, and just drag that in and place it where I want it to be placed. And then back to our battle events, we're just going to add a new action, and we're going to take that new text box that we've got and just set the text. And the text for this one is going to be my Pokemon dot at. Value is going to be number 10 because it's the 10th value in our array, and then current Pokemon, and hit done. So now we've set up our XP bar and our level, so when the game starts we have those two values. And if I go back to my world, make sure that you are starting on your world, because you can crash your game if you go straight to the battle, because again we're using the wild grass to determine what Pokemon we're getting now. We're not getting one at default, so just a bit of warning there. You see that we've got level 5 and I've got 20 out of 30 XP, which is about right in my XP bar. So now I want to make it that we get XP at the end of the battle. So I'm going to go back to my battle events. I'm going to scroll down, and there's one thing that we have to do first before we start adding in this new function, and that's to do with these 2 lines of code here. First thing we need to do is right click and add a new condition. I'm going to go to system. I'm going to scroll down until we see this trigger once while true. Without this, you're going to keep getting XP over and over again. Your Pokemon will infinitely level up, and it will look very, very strange and very, very weird, as I found out when I was testing this. So we're just going to add this in now as a safety precaution. So once we've got that, we only want to get XP when we've won. So we're actually going to set up a function that allows us to do this, and we can just call that function once we've leveled up. So we're going to call this XP and hit OK. And with functions, we can add parameters, values that must be passed in order to use this function. So the first one's going to be called XP earned. Next one would be called current XP. So how much XP have we currently got? And then finally is max XP. Now all these values we can get from our array. This just means that we don't need to keep typing my Pokemon at 11 current Pokemon each time, because that just takes a long time. Instead, we're going to take those values straight away and store them, and that's just going to make our lives much easier. We can also do some clever stuff with these variables as well. So now we've got our function set up. Before we start programming it, we're going to put it in place. So we're going to add an action. It's going to be a function, and this is going to be XP. And the XP earned, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to take computer's level that we set up, and we're just going to times it by 10. Now I'm going to times it by 1,000, just so you can see our levels go right up after we win a battle. But I recommend set yours about 10. Again, with all these stats that we've talked about, I've not fine-tuned any of these, so you might need to play around with these numbers. Current XP, again, is going to be my Pokemon dot at, and then it's 11 dot current Pokemon. So again, getting that value from our array. And then max XP is going to be the exact same, apart from it's going to be value 12. And we're going to call this just after it says you won. And make sure you are doing it on the event where you do win. We don't want to get XP if we've lost. That's not how it works. Only if we've won. So now that's set up, we can actually move to our function to give us XP. Now XP is a little bit confusing because it's not just a case of you get XP and that's it. If you get enough XP, you'll level up, and leveling up causes lots of stuff to happen, like stat boosting, also causes you maybe to evolve for your high enough level. So we need to tackle all of that stuff as well. So I'm going to start by clicking on the side here, right clicking, and we're going to add a sub event. This first part of the sub event is going to be a while loop. So a while loop will keep repeating until a condition's met. The moment that condition's met, the loop will end. We're going to then add another condition to this. This is going to be system, and we're going to compare two values. And what we want to do is we want to check if the current XP plus the XP earned is greater than or equal to our max HP, or max XP, sorry. So what we're essentially saying there is, have we got enough points to level up? Now it's possible that we can level up more than once, and this function will check for that as well. That's why we've got that loop to check more than once. So first thing I'm going to do is add an action. Go to our system. I'm going to set the value of our XP earned. Now we're going to start with some brackets. I'm going to take the current XP that we've got from previous battles, and we're going to add the XP earned to give us our total XP that we've got, and then we're going to minus the max XP, or the high value of XP we need to get to in order to level up. This will leave us with a total for XP earned, which is how much we've got left after the battle. And if this is enough to level up, then we'll go through this loop again and level up until we've reached the highest level we can go, and the rest of the XP earned we're just going to tap on the end as our new current XP. Because we don't want to keep adding the current XP again and again and again, we're going to take our current XP, we're going to set it to 0 because it's done its job now. And at the end of all these calculations, we'll set the current XP to whatever the XP earned is left after we finish leveling up. Because we've leveled up, we need to actually apply that now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to my Pokemon, set X and Y, and the level up value is number 10. This is going to be our current Pokemon. And in order to get what level we're now at, we're actually going to do the same thing again. We're going to do my Pokemon dot at 10 current Pokemon, and then +1. So that's going to add 1 to our level. Because we've added 1 to our level, it'll be a good idea to show the player that's happened. So we're going to add an action, and we're going to do 2 things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our level text, and we're going to set the text of that now. And same thing again, my Pokemon dot at 10 and current Pokemon. Be an expert at arrays by the end of the series. So that's been set now. And we can also set the dialogue text, battle dialogue text. We can set that as well to give a little message to the user that they've leveled up. So I'm just going to keep it really simple, level up. So again, we're giving feedback to the user through their actual level and through a bit of text to say they've actually leveled up. Now that we've leveled up, we don't want to keep the max XP the same. We want to increase it. So it becomes harder to get to the next level, and it becomes even more difficult to get to the next level after that. If we don't do this, it becomes really, really quick and easy to get from level 5 to level 100. We want each level to be slightly harder than the last. So this is really easy to do. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to my Pokemon, set X and Y, and for the max XP is value 12. It's going to be on our current Pokemon that we've got, and the value is going to be same again, my Pokemon dot at, and then it's going to be 12 and current Pokemon. And then we're going to times this by 1.2. Now when you times by 1.2 or 1.5 or whatever value you pick, because we're dealing with decimals, we're going to get a decimal as a result. And we want to keep this nice and simple. So all we're going to do is take this result and we're going to round it. This means for the low XP levels, it might be that it doesn't increase a lot, or it might be that it rounds down quite a lot, but eventually it will increase to a much bigger number. So rounding is really, really nice there. Just stops your arrays having these really, really big decimal numbers in. Now we've also done that, we also need to actually apply that to our max XP here, which means that this calculation takes in consideration our new max XP. So we're going to go to System, Set Value, and we're going to go down to max XP. And just like before, my Pokemon dot at 10 or 12, sorry for this one, and current Pokemon. So now we've set up our new XP max value, and when this loop goes again, it will take and consider that new value. And if it's the case that our current XP and XP earned together are not enough to get us to a next level, we'll just tap on the extra XP earned at the end, ready for our next fight. Now, next thing we need to do is actually deal with our stats and increase our stats. Now, you can actually just do this at the end of this code. What I personally like to do is just add a blank sub event and just do it underneath here. It will still trigger at the exact same times under the same conditions, just means it's out the way of all the other code, so it tidies your code up a little bit. So this is really, really simple. All we're going to do is we're going to go to my Pokemon, set X and Y, and the values that we want to set is we want to set values 2, 3, 4, and 5, being our max HP, our attack, our defense, and our speed. Now, we're not dealing with IVs and EVs. I don't really understand them myself, to be honest. I'm going to keep this really, really simple. So let's start with dealing with our max HP. So we're dealing with value 2, and this is going to be on our current Pokemon. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the same values again. So my Pokemon dot at 2, and then current Pokemon. And then we're going to add, I'm going to add a random number to it. And we're going to select a number between 0 and 3. So when we level up, we've got a chance that our HP is going to go up by 0, which means it's not going up at all, 1, 2, or 3. Now, when you use the random function, random deals with decimals inside of construct. We don't want decimals, so I'm just going to use the round function once more to round our random number. So that's done. So now when we level up, our HP is going to go up by either 0, 1, 2, or 3. Just going to copy and paste this another 3 times. I'm just going to change these numbers. So instead of dealing with max HP, 3 will be attack. I just need to make sure I'm changing attack down here. We'll then go to value number 4, which is our defense, and make sure you've changed 4 here. And then we want to go to 5, which is our speed, and change speed here. So this means our Pokemon will level up gradually over time. And again, you might need to tweak these once you play around with this a bit more, because that's the bit I've not really done too much of. Finally, if we haven't leveled up, we just need to tack on the XP earned on the end. And even if we have leveled up, any remaining XP earned that we haven't got enough to get to the end, we're just going to put on the end as well. So we're actually going to go to our battle XP here, and we're just going to edit behaviors. I'm going to add the tween behavior. This just allows us to animate between 2 points. So I'm just going to animate the width so it looks like it's moving across like a bar. So I'm going to click on the end of the function XP, and I'm going to add a new sub event. This is going to be a system, and I'm going to compare two values, and I'm going to do exactly what I did before. So I'm going to do current XP plus XP earned. And before I was checking if it's greater than or equal to, I'm just going to check if it's now less than, and max XP. So we've not got enough XP to level up. So we're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to take our XP bar, and we're going to tween one property. We're going to tween the width, and the new end value is going to be 184, being the size of our XP bar, divided by our max XP. That gives us a segment, and then we can times that segment by XP earned. And again, if we've leveled up, that value would have shrunk down a little bit. And I'm going to say it's going to take 0.5 seconds to do that animation. Finally, I just need to save back our current XP, which we know is the remaining of the XP earned. So I'm just going to go back to my Pokemon, set X and Y, and we're going to take value 11, which is where our current XP is, onto our current Pokemon, and the end value is going to be XP earned. And that means that next fight we'll have our new XP saved. So that's it. We've now got a really nice leveling system. So if we go into battle and test this out, and before we go into battle, what I'm just going to do is go to my Pokemon and go to its attack stat, and I'm going to make it outrageous. This just means that we don't need to sit for a full battle. We can just quickly get a kill and then get the XP from it. So I've been attacked, lost a bit of damage, do flamethrower, and you see that I've gone to level 29 and I've got some XP close to another level up. If I get in one more battle, I'll keep that XP, and it's going to be a little bit harder to level up next time. So go there. Only problem I've got is that the bar's going downwards even though we've leveled up. I've had lots of problems getting this animation to work, so that's something you might want to take off the tween property, and you might just want to set the width. Your choice. It's the one thing I can get working, but it does work in sense of the program itself. We're level 33, we've got some XP left over. Notice that we went from level 5 to level 28. Bear in mind that I am timing by 1,000 and not by 10, because again I want this program to be a quick demo. But next time I've only gone from level 28 to level 33, so it is definitely working. So now we need to evolve as well. Now when it comes to evolving, I need to actually get rid of my Lapras and change this to my Bulbasaur, which is going to be 0. Now we set up a Pokédex last video, and in our Pokédex we set some Pokemon up. And I've got my Bulbasaur, and two of the stats you'll notice is evolves to and evolve level. So we've got it evolves to Pokemon with the ID of 1, and again these Pokemon we're getting by taking the animation frames. So 1 would be Ivysaur, 2 would be Venusaur, and it evolves when it gets to level 16. So this sort of tells us a little bit about how we can evolve our Pokemon. We're going to use this information here. So we're going to go into our battle events, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new function, and this is going to be check for evolve. Now this is going to take in one parameter, and this is going to be the Pokemon's ID, and that needs to be provided in order for us to use this function. So let's set this function now. So we're going to add an action, and this is going to be in our level up function, because again we can only evolve once we've leveled up. So we're going to check for evolve, and the Pokemon's ID is my Pokemon dot at, and then 0 for the ID and current Pokemon. When we set up our Pokemon here, you see that 0 is the ID value, and then we can look up in our Pokedex to find, okay, Bulbasaur's got an ID of 0, it evolves at this particular level. So now I've got this function, we're going to create the condition that gets this working. So we're going to add a sub-event, and it's going to be a system, and we're going to compare two values. So first one's going to be my Pokemon dot at, and then we're going to check 10 being its level, and then current Pokemon. Then we're going to do Pokedex dot at, take value 13, which is what level it needs to evolve. And then we can take in the Pokemon ID that we passed through in our function. So this just checks, are we a high enough level? If we are the right level, what we can now do is we can add an action. And the first thing we want to do is we want to go to my Pokemon, set X and Y, and we want to decide what Pokemon it's going to change into. So it's going to be 0 for its ID. Then we're going to take the current Pokemon. And then next we need the new value. So this is going to be Pokedex dot at, value 12 being which Pokemon it's going to evolve into. And then finally the Pokemon ID once again. Finally, we want to visually put that back to the player so they can see that their Pokemon's evolved. We're not going to do any fancy animations. All we're going to do is change the Pokemon they're seeing on screen. And do this, we're going to keep it really simple. We're going to take this line of code here that sets the variable player Pokemon. And we're also going to take this one here. I'm going to hold down Control to select those two lines, which sets the animation frame. So I'm going to copy those and put them at the bottom. Next, I just need to play this and get myself into a battle. So if I run through the grass a little bit, hopefully I'll get into a battle nice and quick. There we go. Now I've adjusted Bulbasaur's stats, so that's why he's quite powerful for a level 5. And we see that he's leveled up, he's now level 29, and we've got an Ivysaur on screen. And if we were to get ourselves into another battle, not only have we got the same HP, we've got the same XP, the same level, and if I would survive this attack, which I can now because my speed stats are actually faster, then we level up again to level 32, and my new XP is on screen. So that is it for this episode. Stay tuned for the rest of the week where the rest of the series will be out. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking it, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and I'll see you in the next video. Today's code will be available on my new website, along with many other tutorials. Check it out in the description below.